다음 염사분은요. 지금도 저를 이렇게 되게 따뜻하게 미소로 지금 지켜보고 계신데요. 제가 이분을 처음 이틀 전에 만나서 느낀 기분은 너무나 따뜻한 품의 그런 에너지를 제가 굉장히 많이 느꼈는데요. 지금 현재 소피아 대학에서 DBA, 그러니까 Doctor of 비즈니스 Administration, 그러니까 경영학 박사 쪽에 지금 헌신하고 계시고요. 그리고 제가 대화 중에서 또 제가 이제 찾아본 내용 중에서 미국에서 그 의료계통에서 어떤 시스템이 어떻게 우리가 알아차려져야 시스템 안에 있는 의료인과 또 경영하는 분들이 또 어떤 의식 상태로 이것을 운영했을 때 우리 각자에게 또 우리 사회에게 조금 더 나은 삶으로 갈 수 있는가에 대한 그런 리더십을 30년간 일해 오셨고 지금은 학생들을 그런 리더로 키우고 계시는 일을 하고 계십니다. 닥터 메리 케이 체스 박사님을 모시겠습니다. 박수로 환영해 주십시오.
I just want to pause for just a moment to take a bath. Just join me in maybe closing your eyes and just one more sound, one more savoring of that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece we just heard. Thank you. I feel like I've been blessed 4 times today, and we're only halfway through the day. First, these 2 remarkable, remarkable leaders, Han and Joy. I don't know about you, but it is just such a joy to see all of you because of their vision, their dream, their tenacity, and their leadership. That's my first blessing. Thank you both. My second blessing is that it was raining this morning. I'm from Seattle. You brought me home. I was outside in the rain first thing this morning. Any of you who've been to Seattle know that gray skies and rain are our norm. So I thank you for the coming home this morning. My third blessing are these incredible individuals here. I am so blessed in this third career that I have to work with such thoughtful, courageous, innovative, deeply curious, amazing faculty and administrators. It isn't often that you get to be in a conversation where you don't agree on anything and yet you agree on everything. It is just really a great place to be. And the fourth blessing is seeing all of you. It's just amazing. If you haven't spent time in the line for the women's bathroom, you've missed something because you get to hear and learn so much. So I encourage you to try that out. So that's my fourth blessing, all of you. Thank you. I'm probably not going to use the slides because I would like to tell you a story that's so important to me and was pretty pivotal. So as Joy shared, healthcare has been my career before this career, and I was very, very privileged to work in large, complex health systems as an executive. But here's the question that continued to work me and make me wonder and send me on a search. If we were so good at providing health care, if we were so good at leveraging technology to provide solutions and connectivity, why were we still not making our patients comfortable and satisfied, even if the outcome wasn't always perfect? And that question really continued to sit with me and talk to me and urge me on. So I decided for my 50th birthday, I would go get a Ph.D. You know how you wake up some morning and you go, I'm going to do something different today. So that's what I decided. And I didn't want an orthodox education because I had that. I'd gone to Harvard for conversations and conferences. I'd worked with some of the most stellar physicians ever. I just had really, really been blessed working with a group of informed citizens around healthcare. So I chose a university, and I found out my colleague also went there, CIIS, where I too met Ken Wilber, who blew my mind. And I thought, yes, this is the path. It is not clear. It is not at all clean. And it's the one I'm going to be on because my passion for the rest of my life is to serve the leaders of the future in ways that they don't know and I don't know are needed, but we're going to make it work. That's my next career. And so here I am with all of you, brave, tenacious, in worlds that you may not have thought possible. But this morning, the reason I didn't want to use these slides is I have to share with you the first response from the first term of the DBA, or Doctorate of Business Administration. I'm teaching while I'm here. So here is what I want to read to you this morning. The outcome of the leadership journey for the past 10 weeks. And I have the permission of Zong to tell you this quote. Here was his summary. Waves obscure my ocean view. Rocks impede my mountain path. But waves, my power, I surf through. And rocks, my ladder, I climb the cliff. That was after 10 weeks. That's a tenacious, inspired, transpersonal leader at work. He's connected as an executive with TikTok, and he's the leader we need for the future. I want to take you all back, if you don't mind a little time travel, to the year 2020, March 8th. So I think maybe where you were on that date, that time. And I received a phone call from a colleague who was also the executive in Seattle and in King County, which covers most of the major part of Western Washington. And this was her message to me, and I still recall it. Jamie said, "Hi, Professor Mary Kay. You need to do something right now. And there are 2 words that will stick with you for at least the next 6 months." I'm like, I need to do something about what? And what 2 words? And hi, Jamie, how are you today? Here are her words. The words Zoom and COVID-19 will be your 2 words moving forward. Now, she knew more than I did because she was in charge of emergency preparedness. We had no idea what we had no idea about. But I heard her call, I listened to her ask, and I went to my favorite place to make decisions. And that's outside, underneath the cedar trees in our backyard, because they comfort, they hold, and they're incredibly wise when I listen. And so I ask, what do you do? What do we do about COVID-19, which wasn't even in our language then, and Zoom, which was an irritant, quite frankly. So the trees said to me, why don't you think about doing what you do for leaders who are emerging? You've pledged to support. So I got up from those trees and I sent emails to my consulting clients, emails to my current DBA and Ph.D. students, and I said, we don't know what COVID-19 is, but if you're willing to sit in the fire, and if you're willing to sit in the curiosity with me, every Monday from 5 until 6, I'll hold space for you to be present and for me to be present, and we'll figure this out. The next night was Monday, and 6 leaders showed up from across the United States. That began a 2-year journey of being present to one another, to being immensely kind to one another, to deal with parents, the parents of Mildred who was in Seattle and could not get home to her birth parents in Brazil. It was Megan who dealt with children with disabilities in the greater Seattle area whose mother-in-law passed because of COVID, and we walked with her through that journey. It was Stacy who was responsible for education of children in New Hampshire. And sometimes in our meetings, when we said, what assistance will be helpful, she would say, how do you keep 25-year-olds out of each other's space? How do you do that? Yoga mats. Yoga mats. So that came out of our group, as well as the kindness that came out of caring for one another on the journey. I was amazingly changed as well. I can't begin to even tell you how much I was changed, except for this. My fierce passion to support leaders of the future, leaders now, not only deepened, but became more resolute and more fierce. I'm often asked, how can transpersonal possibly fit with business and leadership? How can it? And my response is, how can it not? We're in a time where business is unusual. It's unusual. There are no clear and easy answers, at least from my perspective. There are delightful, complex questions about how to lead. And yes, shareholder reports are essential. Making a profit is essential. Being present for your teams and helping them grow is essential. And how do you assess yourself? How do you grow yourself? So this story that I shared with you about this Monday evening, 5 to 6, we missed one Monday. I don't even know how many Mondays that would be in 2 years. We missed one. And about 2/3 of the way through, we decided that we also needed to share what we were learning with others. So any of you that have ever written a paper by yourself, that's a gift. Any of you who have written a paper with 6 other people and their partners, because they knew where everyone was at 5 to 6. So think about 12 people writing a paper. We did it because we said, being together, solving issues together, allowing someone to sit in absolute quiet and not say a word, because that's what they need for an hour, is also business as unusual, and it's an ethical way to run business. So we had a peer-reviewed paper accepted by the Business Ethics Journal. It was our small way of saying change is possible. Honoring one another is possible. Knowing ourselves through the pain of change that we can't see, we can't understand, but it's there, is all possible. So when I'm asked, why do I have this topic called the fascination? That's why. I can't think of a better time to lead. I can't think of a better time to be with all of you in this room, and I can't think of anything more that we could do than come to know ourselves in a very new and delightful way. So I leave you with this thought. The reason I wanted to share the story of the poem that came in this morning, and I too love teaching, it just lights me up. Imagine being lit up by papers that come in at midnight, but I do, and I imagine all my colleagues do as well. It's a gift. The other gift is that this journey takes 2 years plus. This dedication to getting to know ourselves is a lifelong journey. This ability to engage in business as unusual is a challenge I offer all of us because we deal with business every day. Grocery stores, banks, dry cleaners, you name it. The wonderful people who prepared the food. So I leave you with this. It's one of my favorite quotes, and my colleagues now can probably quote it for me. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go in good company. I thank you for being my good company for today. Thank you.